other than your wife, you should say, Lord, that's my sister. Mind, why are you doing this? That's why you see, Saint David speaks so many psalms. My soul, quiet within me. Why are you so this thing? My soul, praise God. My soul, look to God. My soul, hope in God. He speaks to himself because he was so tormented many times. So when this guy is become so sick, and look at that, it's how he become so sick. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shimei, David's brother. Now Jonadab was very crafty man. And he said to him, why are you, the king's son, become thinner day after day? Will you not tell me? See, it was noticeable by his friend that he is lovesick puppy. Yeah, because he is so thin. Some kids, when they fall in love, you can just make out. They may not know. We all can make out. He'll be like one-sided person. He can't see the other side. He will be, when everybody is sitting there, he'll be texting. When everybody is there, he will walk out, and then he'll be talking. He'll be laughing on his own. There are so many signs which we can pick it up. This guy, his friend and is related to this, and Jonadab, and look at the description, a crafty man. Why the fellowship is important, why you need our Christian brothers here. Men, you must have a very good Christian, Bible-believing, Bible-practicing brothers by your side. If you don't have, please go make yourself accountable to somebody. You should be able to say anything and everything. Somebody can put some senses in your brain. You need to have some companion. You need to have a godly counseling person for a husband. Sisters, please allow your husband to go along with a good Christian man. You must. I have got a spiritual father and I have got a spiritual friends, and I have periodically go and I meet with them. I tell them, this is what is happening in my life. And I have got a spiritual father. I tell everything. What I feel, how I am angry, or how I am attracted, or where I am struggling, what is the problem. I tell everything. You must have a spiritual father. You must have a spiritual companion. If you don't have a good believing brother, then what happened is you will end up having a Jonadab in your office. Yeah, where everybody say, it's okay, come, let's all go for a Friday afternoon, we are all going out for a meal, why don't you come? Come, we will have half a pint of beer, that's it, just a glass of beer. The beer won't do anything to you, have a small glass of a thing. Or maybe, the 1 unit of alcohol only the police catches, you have half of it, let's buy a glass, we split it and, you are within the legal limit. All those things, the Jonadabs will come. There are many Jonadabs have taken people away from God. Whereas you see, Daniel, he was able to influence 3 other people. Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, he was able to influence 3 other people. But Jonadab, do you have a Jonadab or you have a Daniel in your life? Do you have a spiritual companion who can advise you? If you do whatever you do wrong, do you have someone who can tell you what you are doing is wrong? Do you have somebody in your life? Listen, brothers, we all do what we do because we are fully convinced what I am doing is right. But then I have to come to a realization what all I am thinking is not right. I get all crooked ideas. I get some crooked views. But I have to understand that everything what I'm thinking is not right. No. Even though I'm Bible believing, Bible preaching, Bible practicing person, evil thoughts comes to me. It will always come. But I have to renew my mind with the word of God. But I need some companion. And this crafty man, what is he saying? Jonathan, why are you so sick? He's asking, why are you so sick? You tell me. You tell me. And then Amnon said to him, I love Tamar, my brother's Absalom's sister. Why it is very important to have a Christian friend? If you have told a Christian friend, you would have slapped on your face. What is wrong with you, idiot? That's your half sister. Huh? Don't you have brains? Wait, I have to report it to your father. I have to report it to somebody. Or at least I have to warn her, keep away from this idiot. Because he has got a crooked idea, because you are his sister, but then he is having a different idea. Don't walk around with him. Don't go when he is around. Whereas, what does Jonadab say? Jonadab gives an idea. Look at him. Jonadab said, lie down on your bed, pretend to be ill. And when your father comes to see you, say to him, please let my sister Tamar come and give me food and prepare the food in my sight, that I may eat it and eat it from her hand. Look at the idea. This is why you have to have a good spiritual companion. They will give you all kinds of idea. How to beat the system, how to beat the speeding camera, how to beat the IRS, or how to do things in a smaller way, or then you won't get caught. Nothing like that. I'm telling you, if I'm sure that you have got some men's fellowship, please do not ignore. You need somebody. You need somebody who can tell you what to do, what not to do. Give somebody authority to tell you and to correct you, to rebuke you. To rebuke you. Because these days, people are not willing to listen to the sound doctrine. They are so keen on getting some encouraging things. You go, Jesus will come, you will become big, you will buy a big house, you will buy a big car, you will live, all those things. No. You look at their life. Last year, 2024, you saw how many Christian leaders in this country failed. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. It's not one day. It's been going on. So you see their history, each one of them, you study their life, 15 years, 17 years, 20 years, they've been living such a life. One, because they had no one, they had no companion, they had no godly counseling person who could rebuke that person. So you must have a good companion who could correct you, who could rebuke you, who could give you godly counsel. We know the story. He pretended, and then she comes, and everything. Look at verse 10. Then Amnon said to Tamar, bring the food into the bedroom, that I may eat from your hand. And Tamar took the cakes which she had made and brought them to Amnon, her brother, in the bedroom. Now when she had brought them to him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, come, lie with me, my sister. But she answered him, no, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing should be done in Israel. Do not do this disgraceful thing. And I, whereas for you would be like one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, please speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you. However, he did not heed the voice. If you don't nip it in the bud, then it is very difficult. She calls it, there is no fool in Israel will do this. Still, like a fool he did. Worse than a fool, he did. The saddest thing. However, he would not heed her voice, and being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he loved her. You must understand the difference between love and lust. Love is one thing, lust is one thing. The lustful feeling will always come to you. How much ever older or how younger you are, it will come to you. I am 60 years old, going to be 61. The lustful feeling comes to me. It will. Don't think that, you grow old, it won't come. It will come. But what you dwell on is what is different. When the feeling comes, when the thought comes, what do I dwell on? Because once you committed, then you hate. You will hate yourself, you will hate the person, you will hate everything. He hates her. The worst part of the story is come to verse 21. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very angry. When King David heard about it, he was very angry. What did he do with his anger? Nothing. He did nothing. He was angry. That's all. Why did he correct? Why didn't he correct any one of the children? Please understand. Giving everything, whatever your children need, is not love. Mark it up. There are people we have come from back home from India. You are deprived of so many things back home. Just because you are deprived, don't buy things for your daughters or your son. Ask anything, don't buy. That is not love, that is stupidity. That's mere stupidity. He wants a Nike shoe, he wants this brand, he wants that brand. I don't know, some of the people, they are very proud to say that, my son wears only this brand. Nonsense. If you are bringing up a child, then that means you are not loving your child. You shouldn't. Don't say that, it is not possible. I have brought both my boys, we have brought both our boys in the Western world. Absolutely no problem. They grow up in England, they studied here in the schools, they did their university where everyone was supposed to do certain things in the prom. They don't do it. They were supposed to take a girl to the prom. They took their friends. They said, I will not take a girl because it's not biblical. My boys stood. They said no. Both my boys. They even said, are you a gay or are you straight? He said, I know who I am. I'm a Christian. They were very bold enough to say. You should put such a values in them. Initially, my sons both will say, Dad, you are an Indian. You don't know the things here. I said, it's okay, son. I'm not an Indian. I'm not a British. I'm a Christian. I keep telling them, I'm a Christian. I live by the Bible. If anything you do, show me a verse. If anything I want you to do, I will tell you a verse. You will always say, it's not fair. You know a lot of verses. I said, what is stopping you? You also study? You also study? I always tell them. He'll say, no, here British is good. I said, son, don't worry. Jesus did not give a different Bible to Britain. Get a Bible printed in Britain, bring that Bible, and I will show you. Very simple, straightforward. If you don't correct your children, you don't rebuke your children, you don't correct them, discipline them, they will do anything and everything. Children will always stretch boundaries. They will always stretch boundaries. You tell them, you don't touch it, they will, what do they do? I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it. They will do that exactly. They know how to irritate you. Exactly. You know, where did they learn from? They learn from you. They didn't come from the sky, they come from you. It's your own product. Yeah. Manufacturer has a problem, so the product also has a problem. So you got to understand that. They will always try to stretch. Here I have to give you another remark here. If a husband corrects your children, don't go in between. When a father disciplines a child, you say, you better listen to your father. Even what he is doing is not right. Don't ever raise your voice in front of your child. After he corrects, when he calms down, you hug him and tell him, that was a little too much. You could have told it in a better way. You were a little angry. Next time please. That's not right. He's our own child, he can be a little more gently. He can be a little more considerate. Next time please, you give him a kiss and then the father can go turn around and say, I'm sorry, I should have corrected you that way. I will do it, but please don't do it. Then there is a reconciliation. But then, if you tell, you go in between, then the child will look at the father as a villain and you are the companion. There is a divide comes into the family. Don't go in between. Same way, when a mother corrects, don't say, your mother is always like that. Don't you dare say that. Because there are many fathers spoil the child. They make sure that they demean the mother. The child has no respect for the mother. My boys know. When they come and ask me something, I won't tell them the answer. I will tell them that I will let you know later. If they ask my wife, she will say, I'll ask Dad and tell you. When they ask Anna, they know that we both will discuss, then only we'll give an answer. When the child knows that you are not in talking terms, she knows how to get the things done at home. They are the most evil in your home. Yeah, they know. Something and you sort out separately in your bedroom when the kids are not around, when the kids cannot. The children should know that you are one. Either you speak to mommy or daddy, it is the same answer is going to come. If they know, they will test it once, twice, thrice. Then they know, okay, right. Now the answer is the same, so it doesn't matter when I tell you or not. Because when I grew up, it was very different. Because the father was the undisputed king back home. Because you can't speak to the father, you can't speak in front of the father. It's very different. I'm sure that many of you know. Because father says, that's it, that's a final answer. So mommy only will look at the right opportune time and then she will go as a representative of you and then she will go out and give you a representation. The father will either get it or he will say yes, then only your things will get approved. Now it is not that case. But there are some women, they plead the daughters or plead the son's case in front of the child. So what you are trying to do, create an image is, my mom speaks for me, but then my father doesn't understand. If the father and mother are one, then they will not have this thing. And also, when the child does something better, don't say, look at my daughter, she has done like me. If she does some mistake, look at her, look at your daughter, look at your son. Don't say that also. Don't disown them when they've done some mistakes. Because they always catch these phrases. I would say the children are the walking video cameras in your home. They record everything. They learn by observing, not by what you tell. They observe, they learn by observing. If they see you sit and read the Bible, they will also sit and read. You tell them to sit and read the Bible and you watch the news, he will not read. He may read, he will think, wait, when I become big, I will also do this. That's what it will run in his mind. You tell him, I read the Bible, yeah. I know. That's how they do. So when they see you sitting and reading the Bible, I would say that, by the grace of God, when both my boys grow up, when they come, they will see that I'm reading my Bible. When they get down from their bed, they will see my wife is reading and we are praying, and then we are praying together. They always seen us doing that every time. So that is what you should model it. So don't have in between the go-getters. No go-getters. When you have to correct, and the spouse has to help to correct. Don't play in between the role. Because if you don't correct your child, you are spoiling the child. David did not correct. What happened? Absalom killed Amnon. Finally, what a big threat became Absalom. Absalom chased David out of the palace. And David has to run for his life from Absalom. But then when Absalom died, David cries out, Absalom, my son, Absalom. Absalom, my son, Absalom. Instead of you, I could have been dead. He cries out. Read in 2 Samuel. He cries out. What a tragic way he is praying. Very tragic way he prays. And he cries out so much. And Joab, his commander, Joab has to come and he has to pull him, come on, get up, David. There are so many people who have put their life on line and you are sitting and crying, and he has to pull him up. So make sure that you have got a good spiritual companion, you are able to correct and you are able to rebuke, so that you will be able to help. Your spouse is very important. At the same time, it is also very important that you have got a good, godly, counseling Christian men. Why I am saying this, the sisters also need to understand. If your husband says something, you cannot forget it. I am little tempted, that's it. You lose your sleep. Is he tempted of that one? Then next Sunday he comes to the church, you will be looking at his eyes. Where is he looking? Where is he smiling? Oh, she went and spoke to her. Okay, he is speaking. Is he tempted by her or is he tempted? You will lose your peace completely. You will lose it completely. So, at least for your sanity's sake, let him go confess with somebody. It may not amount to something. So, you got to understand that yes, he needs a companion. He needs something. Here, David's failure is, David did not have that kind of a companion. When you grow up in your career, when you grow up to be somebody, then you will become loner and loner. When you are nobody, it's easy for you to say something. But then when you grow up, you will think, oh, what will people think of me? What about my reputation? Otherwise people will think very bad about me. So I can't tell this. What if, I'm someone so and so, then people will, thinking very bad about me, so I can't tell it. But I'm telling you, you need a big courage to come and stand and say, this is the mistake I have done, this is the sin I committed. Because when Bathsheba was having a shower, David had one look. The second look is the problem. He immediately inquired, who is that woman? You see how the brain works? Who is that woman? Okay, send out a person for her. Ask her to come. That's it. So, please, have this companion and correct them, and correct it when you are calm. If you are angry, please, in your anger, do not correct your children. Okay? You go, calm down, then come back and you talk to them. Natural instinct of the response is, you want to put the things settled right now. But don't do that. I think I've learned a lot of things over the years, and sometimes I didn't know to do correct. But one thing I did correct is, after I learned about these things, I never corrected my children when I'm angry. When he says something, I'll say, Dad is not in the right mood. Give me some time, let me calm down, then I will talk to you. Because what you did is really irritated me, and I don't want to say something which will hurt you at this time, so I don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. Then he will go off. Then after that, I'll call him and tell him. Okay. When way back when he was in his year 11 or year 12, grade 11 or 12, he was there, and he wanted a phone. So I had that big screen O2 phone with a keypad and all those things. He was eyeing that phone and he was kept on asking. Then I said, okay, but you have to be very careful, son. This is very expensive phone at that time. So I gave him my phone and I got another phone and I gave him this phone. So he had that phone. Sure enough, the next week he came and he lost the phone. And he came and he told me that I lost my phone. I said, fair enough. It's okay, son. Don't worry. It's just a phone. It's an expensive one. It's okay. You can always get another phone. But you should be a little more careful. He started crying. He cried so much. I said, son, what's the problem? Why? It's just a phone. No, Dad, I was so scared to come and tell you. And but the way you reacted makes me feel very guilty. See, if I had angrily corrected him, it would have backfired. Because I handled such a way, he cried so much, and then he told me, no, buy me a normal, the old Nokia phone, I will use them. Even if I lose, I will not feel so guilty about it. I'm feeling so bad. I said, no, I'll buy a little more expensive phone so that you will be more careful. Training the child. Training the child is very, very important. Come to Hebrews chapter 12. In verse 5, he quotes, and you have forgotten the exhortation which speaks to you as to sons. My son, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, nor be discouraged when you are rebuked by him. For whom the Lord loves, he chastens, and scourges every son whom he receives. If you endure chastening, God deals with you as with sons, for what son is there whom the Father does not chasten? But if you are without chastening, of which you all become partakers, then you are illegitimate and for not sons. Furthermore, we have had as human fathers who corrected us, and we paid them respect. shall we not much more readily be subjection to the Father of the spirits live? For they indeed for a few days chastened us as seemed to best to them, but he for our profit, that we may be partakers of his holiness. Here, chastening, the word is discipline. There are some translations, discipline, but if you really look at it, the Greek word, it is training. It is training is the more appropriate word that you can use is training. Train the child, as Proverbs 22:6 says, train the child when they are young, so that when they grow old, they will not go away from it. So training, how you train your child, that's what the father and mother should train the child. How to handle the finances, how to handle their time, how to handle their emotions, how to handle everything. You know, there are many people, what they do is they don't train the child to handle finances. They don't train the child how to live their life. Because what happens is, when the child is at home, they drop the child, especially in US, you guys have dropped them in the doorstep of the school, pick them at the doorstep, and they are all cocooned. They are completely guarded. They don't know anything about the world. They don't know how to handle the money. They don't know how much it costs. Nothing they knew. And then you send them to the university. They go berserk. They don't know to handle the money. They don't know to handle their freedom. They don't know how to handle how to live, what to do, what not to do. Nothing they know. You just dump them at that age. There are many children go astray in the university. They don't come back to church. They don't come back home because you have not trained them. Training is part of, that's why I said stewardship starts from father, mother, the children. You train them. When they are at home, when they are young, you give them the money. You ask them to manage the finances. I trained both my boys when they were doing their A-levels or our PUC, whatever earlier you call it, we call it A-levels. In the A-levels, before going out to the university, I gave them I draw money and I give it to him cash. I asked him to manage the home expenses every month, all the things he has to buy. I asked him to manage, I asked him to write down, here you go, all the money, you spend it. He has to know, he has to handle, he has to, income, expenses, he has to handle it. Because when he goes to the university, the money comes to him and he gets the money and he has to manage it. How will he manage if he doesn't know anything about it? And I don't know how many of you have taught your daughters how to go to the bank, do they have a bank account, how to open the bank account, how to operate or how to put the money. You should teach them. We can't, keep them in the dark and then just one day just dump them out. No. You got to teach them. You got to take them to the bank. You have to make them open an account. What is the money? What is the value of it? How much you earn. What is the whole family budget, they should know about it. This is what we earn. This is how we spend our money. This is what we give it to God. This is what we give it to our expenses. Then your child will know, okay, that there is no need to buy about $150 to buy a shoe. There is no need. Dad, don't spend it. Your son himself will say. But if you think that, no, we have to guard it, we hide in our shoe. I was going with the chapel to the school. My son, that means you are sending a son to hell. Honestly, because you don't teach him, you don't teach her, then how will they know the value of the money? Training is, in stewardship, training is very, very important as a family. So, if a husband is the father is the one who is training, the mother should play the supporting role to the maximum. And both has to be as one and they have to train. When the mother corrects it, stand by her. Even if she is emotionally upset and say something, you just go around, just put your arm around what mama says, just listen. Okay? Mama will always love you. Mama says something, that means there is some reason behind it. You just obey and go now. We will speak later. Because sometimes women gets more emotional and then they kind of correct it very differently. At that time we should not shout at the wife, or we should not shout at the, no, don't speak to the, no. Just go, put your arm around her. Yeah, it's okay, honey, don't worry. Yeah, what mama says is right. Mama has something to say. We will talk to you later. Now you go, sit and do your work. Then you both sit together. Then you call the child and sit with the child. You tell the reason behind it. Why you are correcting, why you are upset, why you want to correct it. Because David did not correct. David failed as a father. That costed his life. In a sense, he lost 2 children and he has to run away from his life. How many people have got killed in that process? You see, it's a family problem has affected the country. You do not know whether your son, your daughter are going to lead this country. You do not know. They may be a senator, or they may be some doctor, or they may be something. They may be used by God in some level. Where God has deposited, God has given you. And if you are not faithful to the stewardship of that, then what happens is you are going to come short of what God's plan for you. So, stewardship, part of the stewardship is correcting your children, correcting yourself. So you need a companion, you need a spiritual father, you need a spiritual support, you also need to correct. Giving whatever they want, doing everything what they want, let them do, is not love, that's mere stupidity. If you give them everything before even they ask, that means you are spoiling them. You are spoiling them. They should know the value of it. What we can learn from David's life is, a man can be after God's own heart, yet he can fail. That's the point I'm driving to you today. You may be a good Christian, you may be a born again, spirit-filled, leading, worshipping, leading and everything. Still you can fail utterly, miserably, if you don't do it right. I'm going to ask you to make a family circle, if 2 of you or 3 of you or 4 of you, whatever it is. And I want you to take some time to pray.